Hi, my name is Juan Javier Campos Montalban, and the article is How Bots Will Change the Doctor-Patient Relationship. It seems nearly everyone believes US healthcare needs some transformative change to improve quality, expand access, or lower costs. Many of the contemporary approach towards that change involve making it easier for patients to see doctors, particularly primary care doctors. While that seems intuitive, we think is the wrong path. Imagine it's 1970 and the commercial bank executives are deciding how to help their customers get the banking services they need. One executive remarks, most of our customers engage with us through our bank tellers, even if they are later referred to someone behind a desk. To help our customers get the banking services they need, we must make it easier for them to get in front of bank tellers. Whether or not discussions like that really happened, that wasn't the direction banks took. Instead, banks introduced automated teller machines to improve customer services. As a result of this unshackling of banking from tellers, 25-year-olds today find unimaginable that their parents contorted their schedule to get cash during the Monday to Friday 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. window in the age of Venmo. They can't imagine the need for cash in the first place. And yet, 50 years later, healthcare leaders continue to discuss how to get more patients in front of the primary care providers, or in general to make it easier for patients to see doctors. The value add from the technical knowledge and skills of primary care and specialist clinicians is greater than that from bank tellers, but the principles limiting the value of this strategy are the same. True transformations come from enhancing productivity, and productivity is enhanced by decreasing personnel effort, not increasing it. If we continue to define healthcare as a service that happens when patients see doctors, we limit our possible productivity gains. Written in the New England Journal of Medicine, we argue that the doctor-patient relationship is healthcare's choke point. There's no technical reason why a variety of common medical conditions, high blood pressure, diabetes, high cholesterol, can't be managed by a bot and overseen by a nurse with support from a physician only if needed. And as our experience and the supporting evidence increase, more conditions might be directed by guidelines, allowing physicians to direct more of their time to where they are really needed. Much is made of comforting aspects of personal relationships between patient and clinician, but do we really need that soft touch to manage hypertension? Maybe sometimes, but certainly not always. So, why is it heretical to suggest replacing some of the healthcare with the facility self-services that has transformed the financial, retail, and travel industries? Why was it relatively easy to abandon bank tellers, travel agents, and tax preparers with the introduction of ATMs, travel websites, and tax software? But we push back when nearly identical approaches are suggested for healthcare. We think the resistance reflects our social combinations rather than our technical limitations. The technical challenge of safely introducing driverless care far more daunting than the technical changes of introducing bots to manage hypertension and diabetes. Yet the prospect of driverless cars seems to be awaited with excitement. We need to solve three problems. First, the insurance industry, government and commercial must get better at its jobs because they are ill equipped to determine whether care was truly needed or appropriately delivered. They use proxy process measures. Was the care face to face? Was the right amount of time spent on the right number of facts documented? Was the right kind of clinician present? Without a measure of what's good, insurers have found it easier to insist that care be delivered in traditional ways. It's hard to explore new potential better models of care when only old approaches get reimbursed. Second, state-based regulation of insurance and clinician licensure must be replaced by a system that recognizes that healthcare is not always best delivered locally. Facilitated self-service creates efficiencies across state lines. It's like it occasionally some of Wyoming's 600 residents will benefit from care delivered by someone outside of 1,000 physicians practicing in the state, perhaps by a bot with second line backup from a nurse or a physician elsewhere. State licensure of physicians and insurance regulations reflect federalism principles harder to justify in a connected world. Third, we should require the same standards of safety and efficiency from automated approach to healthcare that we have come to assume for the safety of pharmaceuticals, whether the regulation comes from FDA or somewhere. It needs to be ramped up to address the volume of potential new approaches. Even if we think a bot can help manage hypertension, it doesn't mean any bot can do that. The organization that credential clinicians might find they are well suited to credential robots. If there is a fourth problem, it is on our sense of nostalgia. Norman Rockwell's painting of what we saw wholesome and right reflected a time when doctors attended to the whole family, grew some from the cradle and some into the grave, and were paid with a basket of eggs. Facilitated self-service health care doesn't challenge the appeal of this imaging, but it does shift it towards those elements of care that can't as easily be handled by a machine. The healthcare change we want, or at least the opportunities to try them, are held back by a combination of technical limitation and social conventions. But our social conventions present the greater obstacles. The lesson from other industries is that transformational changes requires productivity change. And in healthcare, that means we must find ways to move past approach to facilitate care with doctors towards approaches that facilitate care without them. Now the questions. First question. How do the authors argue that making it easier for patients to see doctors may not be the most effective approach to transforming healthcare? The authors argue that the approach in which patients consult doctors is not the most effective for healthcare. Due to the technical and social limitation that could be exist between doctor and patient, it is stated that the doctor-patient relationship is a limiting factor. for the productivity of healthcare, and that's why self-services in healthcare is a solution for a better productivity with the use of robots and other tools that do not require a doctor or a nurse, this being a more effective method. The second question is, what are some key benefits of using robots in healthcare, according to the article? According to the article, the benefits of using robots are the critical potential they could offer for patients in self-service, improving the efficiency of medical staff, in addition to using robot tools to control common conditions such as diabetes of patients, so the doctors focus on more critical cases, helping the effectiveness and efficiency of the health service. And the third question is, how can the implementation of bots in healthcare potentially change the dynamics of the doctor-patient relationship? The use of bots in medical care affects the doctor-patient relationship, since it proposes changing an approach and allowing patients to have self-service, automating bots to solve more common and less complex conditions by helping the doctor. This new approach goes beyond the traditional method of healthcare or medical care that patients are accustomed to receive. So this new approach should be welcomed with the open arms. Thank you.